Okay, so thank you all for joining us tonight. We will try not to take too much of your time up so that we can just get things going. Welcome to the pre-competition webinar. Excuse the typo on the screen. It is pre-competition, not pre-season. Um,
Turned it up.
there we go. All right, so just a few things that we're going to go over tonight. So typical things that we go over with all pre-competition webinars about the events and qualifying, this schedule, facility layout, logistics, competition rules, and reminders. So the events, same as last year. We have the 100 meter, 200 meter, 500 meter, which is all straight, and then the 1K. So for the time trials, the 100 and the 200 will be combined. Same as last year. There's no difference in the time trials. For the day of the state competition, we obviously will have two separate races. But for time trials, we will be combining the two. Same as always, for eligibility, the athletes and partners must compete in the time trials. If they are not at the time trials, they cannot compete. That is bottom line, as well as one other qualifier. Preferably to happen before time trials, but they have to have at least the time trials and one other qualifier to be eligible to compete in the state competition August 27th. The athletes and partners, as always, can enter up into two events. They cannot be in the 100 and the 500 or 1K. They have to, if they're in the 100, the only other one they can be in is the 200. If they're in the 500 or the 1K, they can be in the 200 meter. For this, same as last year, we're going to extend this for one more year. For 2016, the 1K counts as an extra event. So they can be in the 100, the 1K, as well as the 200 and 500. They cannot be in the 100 if they are in the 1K. No individuals may be entered in the same event twice. What that means is a partner cannot be entered in the 500 meter race for two separate teams. They can only be entered in the race one time. Time trial schedule is going to be, this is all approximate. We'll do the best we can to stay on this schedule. Volunteer registration at 8:30, delegation check-in at 9. At 9, please make sure all of your kayaks are in the staging area. We will have that labeled for you. So just have all your kayaks placed in your section. At 9 o'clock, at the same time, you as well as athletes can go onto the course, get some warm-up in. Course inspection can be done at 9. At 9:45, all kayaks must be off the water. No exceptions. Please have everyone off the water no later than 9:45. At that time, we will also have a quick coaches meeting. Take 5-10 minutes, just a quick go over a couple things to get ready for the day. After that, the competition will start. Same as last year, we'll start with the 500 meter and then go to the 100, 200 meter races and finish with the 1K time trials. It's in the same place as always at Chestertown, at Washington College at the Boathouse. This is just a map to kind of give you a little direction, but nothing has changed from last year, or the last 2 years actually. This is just a Google image search of the area that we will be in. If you look at the top of the screen, where's the A, that is the boathouse. Please have everyone park in the grass, same as last year. That's where all the cars and everything will park. If you look in the kind of middle top of the screen, there's an I. That is where you can park the trailers with the kayaks on them. After you drop off the trailer, please make sure the cars move into the parking spots. Spot D is where staging is going to be. Nothing's changed. Same spot as always. And Jack, correct me if I'm wrong, we do not have use of the pavilion for time
Not for,
trials.
right.
Okay. So we will be next to the pavilion, but please make sure all your parents and athletes stay off the pavilion because that will not be for our use for the time trials. This is just another map of the course a little further back so you can see the same as last year. If you look at the blue lines, that's approximately what the 1K is going to be. So they just have the athletes start at the start line where B is. They go around 2 buoys and then head back to the dock, and that's the end of the 1K. It's only one time around, same as last year, and the straightaway is going to be 500 meters. Just to go over a couple logistical things. Registration, please have preferably the head coach come check in at delegation check-in. While the head coach is checking in, please make sure all the kayaks are placed in the staging area, and please make sure you write down all the athletes that will be using that kayak. We'll provide you with the tape and markers. If you have your own, great, but please make sure you're labeling your kayaks before 9:45. If you can do that ahead of time, even better. If not, by 9:45, please make sure that is done. That makes staging go a lot faster. It helps our volunteers just find the boat, take it on down. The course inspection, if your kayakers want to go on the water, you must have a coach with them. They cannot just go on the water by themselves. They have to be accompanied by a coach. Parking, same as always, is going to be in the field next to the boathouse, just as I showed you on the previous slide. Delegations can bring your own pop-up tents. With it being in August this year, the weather's going to be a little bit hotter than we're used to for kayaking, so pop-up tents are probably a pretty good idea for spectators to bring. We will have a pop-up tent that SOMD will bring that is going to be set at the 100-meter finish line on the shore. Please, please, please do not let your athletes or parents sit in there. That is for our timers when it's time to do the 100, 200-meter split. This is a big one because we've had some issues with it in the past. Access to the pier is limited to only competition personnel. If coaches and athletes need to go out on the pier to swap kayaks only, that is the only time that you are allowed on there, and it needs to be done right as they're about to go on the water. Please do not just wait out there for 15, 20 minutes, get in the way of the starters. Everyone needs to be off the pier, which is the entire dock. The entire pier is off limits to coaches, athletes, spectators, competition personnel. They're the only ones out there. Please, please, please make sure you let all your delegation know about this. We will have medical on site as always. If anything is needed, they will be sitting along the tents right by the end of the pier. We will provide lunches for time trials. If you have anyone that needs special meal requirements, please let us know as soon as possible so that we can have that prepared for you. We will not be selling lunches to families. If they go to the family hospitality tent, then there will be local restaurants and all of that listed on there for you, but we will not be selling lunches to family members.
Are you going to do like a lunch break, or we're just going to keep on going?
Yes. On the schedule, there is a lunch break. I think it was at 11:45. It's right after the 500-meter race is complete.
Okay. The pavilion is not accessible for us to use as a part of our activity because there's a big activity going on in Wilmer Park right next to our facility.
Mm-hmm.
and they will have food and stuff over there that people can walk through the pavilion and go down and get food over there too.
Okay, great. Now, if families go and do that, please make sure your athlete's not about to get in his or her kayak. We don't want to be chasing people around over there when they're trying to find people for staging. So just be aware of what time the staging will be for each of the athletes. Results for time trials will be sent out during the week leading up to, the week following time trials. You'll all get a list to make sure everyone is in the correct events, and you just let us know which event they're supposed to be in, and we got it. So please look out for that, and let us know of any changes that happen. For rain plan, competition will continue in light to moderate rain. So just because it's raining doesn't mean we're stopping. Obviously, if there's thunder and lightning, then we will stop immediately, get everyone off the water, and have everyone wait in their vehicles until a plan is made. So just be prepared.
We will be able to have people sit in the boathouse.
Okay. Hopefully we don't need that.
Okay.
Well, fingers crossed, weather is nice for.
Right.
But just let all your athletes and parents know that we will continue in light to moderate rain. Just because it's raining does not mean we'll stop.
It's a wet sport.
Exactly. Just the course, as some of you have heard, Jack and I will be out there setting up the course on August 10th to prepare for the 13th. We will have, same as always, this course inspection from 9 to 9:45. And again, please make sure you're off the water by 9:45. Can't stress that enough. Preferably a little earlier if possible. Give us time. I'm not going to go over all this. It's all pretty much the same reminders. For the equipment, like I said, make sure all kayaks are marked with what athlete will be in that kayak. Rules for the event, we will have the starter, we'll say racers ready, followed by the air horn. That is how we'll start it. For hearing impaired athletes, we will have a white flag that is dropped. So that's when they know that they will be able to go. There's no coaching permitted from the shoreline, from coaches, assistant coaches, family members, or any delegation members. Please follow that. I mean, I don't know how much they can hear from there, but please make sure you're not coaching, you're only encouraging. Just a few things to go over. If an athlete fully travels outside their lane during the competition and not impeding another athlete, they will only get a 5-second penalty, and they must attempt to get back into their proper lane to finish the race. If they're fully outside their lane at the finish, it will be a disqualification. They will also be disqualified if they cross the lane and impede another athlete. That will also be a disqualification. For the 1K, the kayak that's in the lead has the right of way at all times. The other kayak must yield the leading kayak. So just make sure all your athletes are aware of this. So again, I'm not really going to just go through this. These slides will be sent out in the next 48 hours. But a maximum effort rule will be enforced. So please make sure your athlete is going as hard as they possibly can. The schedule and divisions will be distributed no later than Thursday of next week. I'm going to get them out as soon as I can, but Thursday next week is going to be the latest that they will be to you. And we're going to open it up to any questions. I know there's not many people on the call, but We will open it up. Um, I know Montgomery County's on the call, so Jean, any questions?
If the athletes are doing the 1K, this only happened the first year, it didn't happen the second, but I'll just ask. If the kayaker behind the lead needs to pass, they can pass as long as they don't impede the lead kayak, correct?
Yes.
Because for instance, one of the races, I know the lead kayak went way outside the buoys, so it was much easier for the kayak behind them to stay close to the buoys and pass. And as long as the person behind doesn't impede, they're clear to pass, but they need to respect the person that was in the lead and not impede them.
Correct, Jack?
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other
Yeah,
questions?
the overtaking kayak cannot interfere with the kayak that they are overtaking.
Okay.
Anything else, Jean?
That's it.
Okay.
I would like to ask that during your practices between now and the competition, that you actually do some held starts with your athletes so that they are kind of familiar with what's going to happen, so they don't get up there and try to charge off while they're being held on the line, so to speak.
So, yeah, if in the next couple, I guess the next practice that you have, if you can practice those held starts, because they will be held starts at both time trials and the state competition.
The other thing that and you can change this if you want, but I think it works better. I asked the holders, the boat holders, to make sure that the athlete understands where the finish line is, where they're going down the course before they, get them, as they get them lined up. It just kind of gives them a little comfort factor of what they're doing and where they're going. Does anybody have any objections to that?
No objection.
Okay.
Great idea.
All right. Pat, I know you're on the call. You have any questions for myself or Jack?
Pat,
Can you hear me?
you make it
Now
up
we can.
the Monday? Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. Can you make it up the Monday after after the qualifier for doing the second set of time trials?
Say that again. The second set of time.
I'm going to run a second set of time trials for my athletes to get the second qualifier in the Monday after the competition. It's
Yeah, I
the
don't think we can
qualifier.
do that. I think it's too far for us to go.
Okay.
Thanks for asking.
And is the coaches training still on for Sunday?
Yes.
Yes.
We'll still have the coaches
Okay.
training on Sunday, even if it's raining and storming. We'll have an in-class portion, and then Jack has it worked out that we can go in to the boathouse and use the tank.
We can actually work in the training tank that the rowers use.
So
Okay.
rain or
And
shine, it will be on.
what time is that?
It starts at noon.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Stu from Carroll County.
No question.
No questions, Melissa.
Thanks, Stu. It looks like Steve Whiting. Are you on the call?
Hello?
I am.
Hi, Steve.
Hi,
Any
Steve.
questions?
No, sounds just the same as it is every year. We're
Same
good.
as every year. All right. Thanks, Steve. Anyone else? Any follow-up questions? All right. I know we had this a little early, so if you think of any questions, feel free to email myself or your sports lead, and we will answer any questions you have and see everyone on the 13th.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good night.
Melissa,
you.